Hello, everybody. I'm Spooky Shimmer, and I'm gonna do something I've never done. I'm gonna talk about a game console that I have. A Sega Genesis. But not just any Sega Genesis. It's an AtGames Sega Genesis. It says the Sega Genesis Classic Game Console. Don't believe me, that's literally what it says. So this is a bootleg. But not just any bootleg. A bootleg so official it has the name on it. Sega, what the fuck were you thinking? No, but seriously. This damn thing sucks. The games on it don't suck. Risk is pretty fun game. I had it when I was little. The games built in don't suck. Most of them are pretty good. Obviously, there were some games, but that's every console. That's every console. These were like common games. Some of them weren't, but most of them were pretty common games. And there were some good. It's a good library on this system. The content, fine, good. It was exactly what it needed to be. I got Risk because, well, I happened to have a controller. And I was like, okay, I also happen to have this game. And the game was doing fine. Until, of course, it wasn't. For one, it is incredibly difficult to put cartridges in this thing. As well as the fact that it's so easy to make it freeze. Like, also, this right here, the cords don't like staying in it. So you'll be in the middle of playing a game and it'll fall out. You try to make sure it's snug. It can't be snug. So you have to find a way to prop it. But that's not even the problem with this thing. A big problem with AtGames Sega Genesis Classic Game Console is that the sound card is absolutely shit. What do I mean? Okay, if you play the game Risk for the Sega Genesis, every time you're about to go to battle, it does like a nice little jingle with drums. And it's pretty cool, it's pretty cool for the time. But instead of doing drums, we end up with this high-pitched squeaking noise. Because the sound card is not built even for Sega Genesis. And we're talking early 90s, extremely late 80s technology, and it can't even do it right. Now, normally, I would be like, maybe it's just this one. Look around the internet. AtGames has a terrible reputation. And it seems like Sega just keeps sticking with them. Now this was a gift. And honestly, I dropped it. No, but seriously. It's a good gift. I enjoy playing the games, but I literally play it with the sound off because it's so off-putting that I get a headache every time I have the sound on. I just find myself confused as to why, in the actual fuck, AtGames would bother staying true to the graphics if they're not going to stay true with the sound. And on top of that, the controllers they supply are kind of not very good at all. Bad enough that you press this button and it'll work. And you press this button, notice how it's working now, but a minute ago it wasn't working. A minute ago, it's off and on. Sometimes you'll press a button 8 times, and then it'll press it once. Sometimes you'll press it once, and it'll press it 8 times. So it's really hit and miss with how it does. As well as just generally, the sound, again, is terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But I think that, like, I guess if you just want to play and you're okay with muting the sound, I guess you could make it work. Especially, like I said, if you plug in, it does give you the ability to plug in your own controller, so that solves that problem. You're actually able to plug in your own controller. But again, these slots on all sides are so snug that basically, unless you can absolutely confirm that it is completely in there, that's what she said. I guess, actually, no, that's what he's... Never mind. It's not the point. The fact of the matter is that this console functions, but it doesn't do much else. It doesn't do it right, and it also doesn't... How should I say? It doesn't do it well. It works, but barely. And that means out of a 10, I literally give it a 5 for being functional, but not much else. So anyway, besides that, that's pretty much it. Like, I'm not going to show any gameplay or anything because, honestly, until I get my setup completely set up, I can only do, like, these webcam things. So I think this is what I'm going to do for now, is I'm going to, like, review games and consoles I have, and this is reviewing my AtGames Sega Genesis Classic Console, which is not really the classic version of the console. So anyway, thank you guys. Love you. Bye.